So the question is, what is my take on 2020 and beyond, specifically 2020 to 2030? And I'm telling you, we are living in the most exciting time that ever was in the history of planet Earth. And compared to the universe, it is a young planet, but still, for a human being, that most of the human beings that have a perception of this life and living 70, 80, 90, 100 years, some of course more, but with that limited perception that we still have, planet Earth is old. Thinking of it in terms of the universe, it's young, but thinking of it in terms of what people believe that their lifespan is, it's old as the world, right? So I'm telling you, the most exciting time is going to happen in the next 10 years. We live in the age of Aquarius. And mind you, I'm a complete novice in astrology and how interwoven all the planets are and the universe in general, but still have a deep interest in how the universe, how the Milky Way, how our solar system is affecting each and every human being, and of course planet Earth, where we live on Mother Earth, right? And the age of Aquarius is not been happening for the last 100 years. It's been happening for a couple of thousand of years. But still, thinking of this age of Aquarius, this last 2,000 years has been the most opportune and best time in the history of the planet when it comes to evolution and making progress. You as a soul making progress, and especially in the last 100 years, 150 years, and especially since the beginning of 2000s, and then 2010, and now we're really hitting the magical number, the magical times, 2020 and beyond. And everyone noticed the shift. Everyone noticed the shift around 2000, right? And some people were, telling you it's going to be the end of the world and this and that. Yes, it was the end of the world. The end of the world as we knew it then. But where people were mistaken, it was not a global cataclysm that's what's going to happen overnight. It was just a shift in consciousness, shift in energy. The universe, our solar system, everything became more aligned, and everything after thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years, we came into a specific time where we all came, people who are living right now, the soul that is inhabiting your human temple or your human vessel, he or she, it's a hybrid, right? It's both a he and a she. Your soul chose to be here on this planet at this most opportune time for your development and for the development of the whole planet and the evolution of us as human beings, evolution of consciousness, evolution to heaven on earth. So since 2000s the shift happened. But we were, let's call it younger then, so we didn't really see or notice that much. But then, after 2010, where both me and you were kind of finishing college and we were off into the real world, things started happening even faster. And for us, it was time not only of growing up, it was time of evolution. Both in mind, both in spirit, both in health, both in business, right? Because the business is our, let's call it, platform to evolve, right? Because money today is present and money today is necessary for you to function in this world the way you want it and to evolve, to become the best possible version in all aspects. So 2010, they're saying 2012, but 2010, that decade, that magical decade started where really things started accelerating, and we all noticed it, right? You joined your business in 2013. I joined the business in 2012. So we found the opportunity, and things started happening really fast. But there were still a lot of ups and downs, right? A lot of ups, but also a lot of downs. You know, and I have to remind yourself, you and myself, that again, even though the energies at certain times are aligned in our favor as a human race, there are, right, especially these times are in our favor, still we are unique in a way where we have our own free will. So even when the times are great, we still have our free will, and you know, we can do bad things to ourselves and to our life. And even when things are let's call it in general bad for the world, you still have your own free will, and you can discipline yourself to success. So it doesn't, you know, living in opportune times doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be successful. But definitely when it comes to 2010s and to 2020, it was the beginning, a real shift in consciousness, a real acceleration for everyone who had a true desire, heart longing to better themselves in all aspects, to give not only to yourself, to your family, to your community, but to give to the world, to be that shining light, to be that shining example of what life is: love, health, wealth, happiness, to really shine, right? Never has it been possible for a human being to, you know, to evolve in such rapid success. Because if you think about it, 2, 3, 4, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, if you were working on yourself, developing yourself, you were considered crazy. Maybe you know, maybe you would get lynched, maybe you would get burned at the stake. You know, it was not normal. It was not normal. Now it's normal. And 2010, 2020, it was magical, right? A lot of opportunities, a lot of ups and downs. But first and foremost in ourselves. But we created a platform. We created a trampoline. We created a boomerang. It was just like the opportunity was there. We were creating ups and downs with our own free will. We were still going through the ups and downs and persevering with our disciplines, and just with belief coupled with our true burning desire, our heart longing to truly make a difference in the world and in ourselves. And we kept moving forward, and magical things happened. You became a better person, you're healthier, you're more happy, you're wealthier than ever, and you're in ideal position. You think of it as you're pulling a string. You were pulling a string, and you were just preparing to jump off. You were preparing to catapult yourself into the stratosphere and explode. And this is where 2020 comes in. 2020 and this next decade. I'm not gonna be talking about the decade after this, but this decade, 2020 to 2030, the most opportune time in the history of the planet for everyone. Again, you have to use your own free will, but if you have a true burning desire to better yourself, even if for the people that are at the very beginning and they have a true desire to better themselves and to succeed, to live a good life, they will achieve what we have achieved in 2 or 3, if they start now, what we have achieved in the last 7, 8, 9 years. If they start now, they will achieve what we have achieved in the last decade. They will achieve it in 2, 3 years max, for sure. If they start from zero. But here's the deal: you're not starting from zero. You are way above zero. You are among the 2% right now. You're among the 2%, only 2%. When thinking of the world, maybe even less. And 2020 started, and this veil has lifted even more. The consciousness is up. The people in general, the human race is vibrating at extremely high vibratory frequency, and things are happening, especially for the people who are not only starting, who have a true desire to better themselves and to help themselves, their families, and the world, but especially for people who are already well on their way. And mind you, you're already a veteran in this game of changing the world by changing yourself, changing your inner world and transforming yourself, and then changing the outer world. You are already a master, and you're starting and you're continuing right now in this age, 2020 to 2030, where things are going to happen so fast. It's going to be a blink of an eye. I'm telling you, you're not gonna believe. I'm not gonna be talking about the whole decade, because you're not going to believe what is going to be happening for the next 10 years. Because if you look in 2010 to 2020, what you have achieved, where you have been, who you have become, it is almost mind-boggling what happened and what you have achieved and what you have become in the last 10 years. Unreal, if you think about it. So I'm not gonna go that far, because in the next 10 years, multiply everything that you have achieved in the last 10 years, multiply everything that you have achieved in the last years, everything that you became, the good, especially the good, everything that you magnified, all the good qualities of yourself, everything, multiply that by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times. And this is going to be your next decade. That being said, I'm only going to touch base on the first 2 years of this decade, because the first 2 years of this decade, the first 2 years, probably less, but the first 2 years, because of the frequency, the vibration that is high, especially because you chose to be also a part of this vibration, and because you are a big part of raising that vibration, and because you're already there and well on your way, you're not catching the wave, you are the wave. So because of the energy and because everything that is happening and how it's feeling and where planet Earth is at this time, this magical time in its history, in the history of the world, but in the history of the planet Earth, in the next 2 years, you're going to see yourself get better. You're gonna see yourself, your business, your life get healthier than ever before, wealthier than ever before. Money's gonna come in abundance. Everything that you touch will turn to gold if you choose to be in this direction, and not only to not let go, not only to not lift your feet off the gas, but to actually push more and to go even faster, coupled and strengthened and in synergy with everything that is happening with the wave of this planet, and how high the frequency is right now, and how the stars and everything is aligned. You, in the next 2 years, you're gonna see things happening as faster than it happened in the last 10 years. You're gonna see next 2 years, you're gonna achieve, become, see, experience more than you have experienced in the last 20 years. It's gonna be ridiculous. And then you're gonna see, you're gonna realize, you're realizing this now, but especially in the next months that are coming, in this year, you're gonna realize how extremely relative the time is, and how important timing is, and how important was for you to stay consistent and to keep moving forward for the last 10, 15, 20 years, where you have been consistently moving in this direction no matter what was going on, because everything was preparing you to be you at this moment, to be prepared to vibrate so high where you are, at this frequency where you are right now, to be at this time with these people in this business at this moment in time, where in the next year and 2 years, and I'm not gonna be talking about the next 10 years because it's mind-boggling for you to experience the growth, the joy, the happiness, everything that's going to be happening in the next months, in this year, but especially in the next 2 years that are coming. It is going to be unreal. It is going to be something that you could not have even. It's not possible to imagine the magic that is happening and that you're going to experience, and it's all